This is an instruction video about work items in Agile-Team. For best quality, then please, in the YouTube player, select the 720p option for HD video. And please maximize the player. To create a work item, you must first select a project node, where under the work item should be created. Then choose the File, New Work Item command from the main menu. Or, press F7, or click this toolbar button, and a dialog for creating a new work item will appear. The layout of the dialog can be changed freely to include the properties that are needed for the individual project. This project is using the layout named Default. A work item has many properties. Let us go through them one by one. First of all, let us choose the kind of work item. That can be bug, task, issue, note, or question. Here we will create a bug. First, type the title of the work item. This is the only mandatory field. If you want to, you can set the priority for the work item. Next, you can enter a description for the work item. Here you can enter just a short text description. Or you can shift to Microsoft Word editing, maximize the window, and paste a full description of the bug. Let us paste the description from an email. This is usual practice. The next tab contains properties, which are only relevant for bugs. The most important of these properties are error severity, which specifies how severe the bug is for the users. The next option gives a possibility to specify in which version of your product the bug appeared. This information will be used if you use Agile-Team to generate release notes or a knowledge base. If you don't need this, or don't know the version by now, then just ignore this value. Now we will shift to the Management tab, which is used to assign resources to activities. A work item can have multiple activities, but in this project, we will for simplicity just use one activity. We can see that when we mark the activity active, then the work item will get a status named in progress. All activities that are marked active will appear in the time reporting views. In order to minimize the number of work items, which are in progress, it is often better to only mark the activity active, when the work is actually starting. For simplicity, we will leave it active here. Also, we will now assign a resource to the activity and give an estimate for the work. Here, we will not use the budget property. The budget value is mainly used when creating new projects to specify the original budget for a work item. Budget is often used as a top-down value for the amount of time allocated to the work, while the rest value is a dynamic bottom-up way of specifying the amount of remaining work. The next tab is the Time Reports tab, which is used to enter time reports. Click the Insert button and see the form that appears. We will just click Cancel for now, since we will come back to this a little later. In the Dimensions tab, it is possible to relate the work item to different dimensions. There is a separate video about dimensions in Agile-Team. As a little example, let us specify how certain we are about our estimate. The next tab is the Miscellaneous tab, which contains some less often used properties. We can see what the parent for the work item is. Who is the manager? Then we can see who created the work item, and which date it was created. Also, you can specify who the originator is. Press the OK button, and see that the new work item is created. To edit an existing work item, just double-click on it in the Explorer. Let us enter a time report. Mark the activity done. and see that the work item status is changed to done. We can now see that the work item disappeared from the Explorer. This is because we have a filter for open work items applied. If we remove this filter, we can see the work item again. You can easily move a work item from one folder to another by drag and drop. You can drop a selection of work items on a resource to assign these work items to the resource. You can also drop a work item to another work item, and then it becomes a child work item. Notice that the rest estimates before the operation is 20 and 30, and the assigned resources are Leo and Michael. When we look in the Explorer at the parent work item, it looks like the estimate is 50, and 2 resources are assigned. Now it is useful to click the Activities toolbar button to be able to inspect the activities. It can then be seen who is assigned to the activities, and what the rest estimate is for each activity, and how they are summed up to the work items. Let us detach the child from the parent. Let us email a link to a work item. Normally, you will just use the layout for the work item dialog, which are specified for the project. But, let us finally for testing purpose choose a specific layout. When we now open our work item, we see that the layout is different. More activities are seen in the Management tab. Let us experiment with these activities. When we activate the Analysis activity, the work item status will become in Analysis. When the Analysis activity is marked done, then work item status becomes pending, and are waiting for a decision whether to delay the item or to activate it. Now we can mark Implementation, Documentation and Testing active, and when these are done, we can make Review activity active. Status is then in review until we mark this done, and the work item is finally done.